I'd had friendships, but not a sort of, oh, I'm in love with someone type friendships. Had a couple of boyfriends, but never felt it was going to go anywhere, so didn't pursue a relationship. So very late in life from that point of view. I say I had friendships, but they didn't really develop into love or close sexual relationships until I met Keith. Maybe I sort of held myself back because I was waiting. Because of my upbringing, I was sort of waiting to find the right person to be committed to.
I think just a total feeling that it didn't really matter kind of how they were or what was happening or even whether they were nice to me or anything, but there was just a total feeling that this person was in some way wonderful.
Love, and like how it's something that goes beyond us, and that sense of less introspective and more kind of a feeling of joining with that kind of inexpressible part of creation that everyone kind of aspires to, but nobody is really sure what it is.
And then somebody came along, and it was headlong. We changed literally overnight. So we were in a state that we'd never been in before. And for us, growing up, the two of us having grown up in a strongly Christian, strongly moral environment, that meant that we had made a very, very strong relationship to each other already. And there was an inevitability, I think, about the rest of the relationship. I sometimes felt I was being dragged along.
Love is not an emotion. Obviously it's a collection of emotions, it's made up of all kinds of feelings, but actually love itself is an action. It's a choice that we make.
The older and wiser I get, the more I think there is more choice in it than I thought, but not to make it less romantic and spontaneous and unexplainable, which I think is a good thing. But I think there's been situations where I've thought I seriously could fall for this person, but that's not going to make me happy and that's not going to be a wise move. So I'm actually going to choose not to. I think there are people that you're more like naturally drawn to and more suited to. But I think it's not completely one way or the other. There's an element of choice and there's an element of I can't help this.
I love him because I choose to love him, because I choose that he's something special to me and that all those feelings that he inspires in me are worth something to me. So I put time into him and he gives time back, and we're building something together that is active, and that is a choice that I make every day, to love him and to be in love with him and to form a relationship.
Well, actually, if he just said, I'm not interested anymore, it would have been easier when he sort of kept it hanging on for a bit. Been easier if we just said, no, we're not going anywhere with this relationship. But no, I've not had really heartbreaking moments, I suppose, because I haven't got into that deep commitment. I mean, you go through periods, you know, when you're a teenager and things, and yeah, you like someone and they don't like you, and you think it's the end of the world, but you know, it isn't. And I don't think I really think, you know, it'd just been nice if maybe that person had noticed you a bit more, but it wasn't particularly heartbreaking or depressing. As I say, maybe because I didn't get too deeply into a relationship until I was really ready to commit.
But it's a very complex thing that governs relationships between individuals who are, if you like, genetically related, individuals who are not, and the more difficult ones are the ones between individuals who are not culturally related. And I think that's where the inclusivity comes in.
I'm not sure I'd say like, oh, I believe in kind of love at first sight and that whole like love as some kind of ethereal, idealistic kind of emotion that you attempt to capture, or that I kind of conscribe to that whole there's one person in this world that we're designed to be with or whatever. I don't agree. I think there are a huge number of people we encounter in our lives that we love in hundreds of different ways because they make us feel hundreds of different things, and we choose where they fit in our lives and what kind of priority we want to give them.
Too many people are too locked up in their own self, so they can't bear to think of a world without them in it.
Society has sort of got so used to what they think a woman should be and what they think a man should be that actually we sort of anyone that acts out of that is suddenly so different, when actually surely, you know, men and women are all manner of things, and that shouldn't be a problem either.
Jesus said, by their fruits you shall know them. So if people are showing love and joy and peace, the fruits of the Spirit, gentleness, kindness, self-control, those sorts of things, then they are within the Spirit of God. And we all sin in different ways. Why should I judge their sin as different?
Grief is something that you have to take on the chin and move on from. And so, you know, I don't know, somebody who's lost a loved one in the Hillsborough disaster, for example, who, you know, goes on and on and on about it and won't accept it. And they've let that dominate their life, and it's a very negative emotion. We are one race, and men and women are created equal and have equality of opportunity.
The main point, I think, is that if you're working for a body that is supposed to be supporting love and equality, but then you're speaking out very sort of brutally about a whole community of people that aren't doing any wrong to anybody else, then I think you're seriously setting a very bad example for what Christianity is and what being a loving human being is, you know, regardless of religion.
Well, as I say, I feel commitment is quite important, and maybe other people need to do a bit more experimentation before they find what's right for them. But I suppose I was guided by the idea of not really committing sexually until I'd found the person that I wanted to be married to.
I remain optimistic. I think that in 50 or 60 years' time we will have got through this. We will have, probably won't have solved the problem of global warming, but we won't be nearly so carbon dependent. And I think there is still hope for the human race, but on a bad day I wonder about it. And basically it's sort of the dark side of our soul is dominating at the moment. There's too much selfishness, there's too much disregard for others and the world.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.